I think the game kicks off at 7 p.m, which I don't know if it'd be a push for us after work that day, so we'll have to see what can be arranged to see if we can make it along. But certainly, I think that's a cool opportunity for lots of people.
It's a shame
to
it
get
kicks
to the
off
same
so
thing.
early. Yeah,
but it's an opportunity anyway. So I thought I'd mention it, and our mate Barry Mack's in the Lancashire side.
Yes.
So yeah, there's plenty of. I think Sam Tompkins is coaching the Lancashire side, and Ryan Hall's coaching the
Yorkshire side.
The Yorkshire side, yeah. All that might change if we have a Challenge Cup final replay and Tompkins is required
Possibly
on the Thursday night for that. But yeah, it should be a great occasion. So I thought I'd mention it up front, and then we'll move through the feedback and shout-outs, yeah.
Yeah, Fat Boy Rob.
We've done the shout-outs, it's the feedback, I suppose. Rob said, good to have a notably more enthusiastic than usual Tom Crook back on Super League Pod. Back off, bitches.
So I say back off, bitches.
No, you said it.
Did I?
Yeah, when people were offering to co-host the show
I see.
with me.
Yeah. Well, you can back off, bitches.
Mark Butler at Mark Butler 1978 got in touch. He said, tease-tastic intro, more dramatic than it's wide to west. In brackets, or would have been if episode 11 didn't give it away. Nice one playing along though.
Yeah, it was a good little idea. That was your idea, wasn't it? That was a good shout, that.
Alan Walker at Alan Paul Walker said, Mother, I think he meant another great ep where the lads kiss and make up, get your hankies out to wipe away the tears.
I don't think it was that emotional, really. I think it was more of me getting a bit of a grilling for being a pisshead.
Oh, well, all my family brought it up at the weekend.
For fuck's sake. What was the overall feeling there then, kick him off?
That you're a knobhead.
Fuck him right off. Yeah, well, fair enough.
But, they've still invited you along to the Challenge Cup final.
Exactly. I'm there, knobhead.
Lee Whitnell at L Whitnell said, perhaps a few more sessions of couples therapy needed, but glad that Krulingworth are back together.
Oh, God. Fair play.
Don't people normally combine first names rather than surnames to make the couple name?
That's not great, though, is it? Tark.
Yeah.
Or Mom.
Talk,
yeah. That's quite cool.
Tom Hodgson at the Hodge, one of our Instagrammers at the weekend, said, only one thing can get me through today's gym session, and that's the new episode of Super League Pod.
We're pleased to be with you.
Well, he needs to get his gym sessions in now that he's going to have to, on his treadmill, he's going to have to carry a bit of weight on his back because he's ordered himself a shark suit.
Oh, has he?
To run in because he hit the threshold he had to hit.
And is this for the Leeds?
I'm not sure which one this one is. He's doing so many, but go on his Twitter at the Hodge and try and find a link because obviously he's always doing great stuff for charity, and he promises it is for charity rather than to fund all his Disney excursions. So,
although that's a charitable endeavour in itself, I suppose.
So yeah. Mark Rosevere at Mark Rosevere 1 said, sorry, lost me as soon as you mentioned camping. We'll have to revert to last week's weird pod again now.
Last week's weird pod.
Welcome back, Tom.
Oh, cheers, Mark. That's ace.
John Hamilton said, I know, it'd be nice to see Rosevere again, to be honest. Because we only saw him very, very briefly, didn't we, the one time we met?
Poked his head out from under his bridge and said hiya, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was a champion bit of facial hair going on, didn't I, Mark?
Yes, that's for sure, yeah. John Hamilton said, now then, lads, glad to hear Tom back on the pod last week. Was half expecting Jake Mamo to be introduced as the new co-host.
New boyfriend, very good.
Yes. David Powell at St. David 2.
What's up with you now? You've done that twice this show, started to say something and then fucking held back. What's up with you?
Oh, just
isn't it great for everyone? Isn't it fucking wonderful that I can be such a prick?
I forgot the Mamo.
Everyone's just dead happy that I'm back.
I forgot the Mamo. I forgot the Mamo joke. I'd forgotten about it. It's bringing back, bad memories of my mum. Not my mum.
For sake. Please don't take the tone of the podcast out to the more morbid and sad.
That's why I stopped, but you pushed it out of me. David Powell at St. David 2911. He said, now then, lads, the difference between my mother-in-law's pud and anyone else's pud is vast. Fine wine versus Blue Nun.
Quite like a Blue Nun, mate.
I don't know which way he's saying it, though, whether his mother-in-law's is the fine wine or the Blue Nun.
I suspect he's saying it's his mother-in-law's.
Is the fine wine?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
Now, taking the Yorkshire pudding thing on a slightly darker turn.
Well, no.
Sean at Bruiser664 said, Yorkshire pudding with lemon juice, tasty or just me?
Now, hear me out on this one, because essentially the ingredients are the same as those in a pancake, aren't they? It's just cooked in different ways. So,
and you put more sugar in your pancake mix, surely?
Well, I don't put sugar in my pancake mix at all. I make my pancakes and then put sugar and lemon on top of it. So, I would say that whilst I never had it, actually, a bit of lemon juice and maybe a bit of sugar on Yorkshire pudding wouldn't be the worst.
And then
taste.
your gravy.
No, you would clearly have it on a separate fucking plate. No, I would. Yeah, I wouldn't be averse to giving it a try. Stick a little blob of ice cream in there, a bit of chocolate sauce. It's a taste sensation.
You know me and ice cream.
Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly.
You got me now. You had me at ice cream. Okay, Alfie Gonner at Alfie Wood said, Instagram passed the pick. My vote is for the one, the only Wally Frogmore. Now that would be a funny kind of carnage.
I think it'd be cool to have one of the Aussie lads do it, actually, and if they go to a game, or just shots of their lives. I know Wally is a pseudonym for. I'd be veering more
towards Paul Michael Craig.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he was talking about doing it for the World Cup game for England-Lebanon.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to get on that.
Yeah. No, nothing against Wally.
Not at all.
I just have an image in my head that the bloke spends all his evenings just in his boxers on his couch.
Yeah, see, I have the exact opposite image in my head.
Trolling.
I think he finds time for other activities.
No, he's a good lad at that. Yeah.
He's in Tasmania. What else is there? There'll be other stuff to do in Tasmania, won't there?
Ooh, maybe not this time of the year because
it's chilly, is it?
Bit more harsh weather, wouldn't it? You'd expect.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they just wrap themselves up against the cold, harsh winters and troll people. But no, if you're listening to us down under and fancy going on the Instagram account, then by all means give us a shout.
Cutthroat Jake at cut_throat_Jake said, read Jack Walker. So we had a big chat about Jack last week. Leeds had previously dropped established players for a young star when James Lowes went to Bradford Bulls. Who now remembers the teenage Mick Shaw?
Yeah, that's a good point, mate.
I don't. No idea.
Well, it was clearly Jimmy Lowes' replacement.
There you go.
Went well for him, didn't it?
Yeah, but didn't they then bring Lee Jackson back from the NRL and he did alright, didn't he? Was that about the same time, would it have been?
I'm not really up on Leeds at that time, to be honest.
Yeah.
You have to. One of our Leeds listeners might be able to flesh that one out a bit more.
Neil McEwen at Neil McEwen 4600 said, can't believe Alex Gerrard was banned for the tackle on Ben Curry, guessing he's took Sam Tompkins' crown as Nigel Wood's special little guy. Yes, Nigel Woods spends his time earning his £316,000 a year salary.
£300,000 of which gets spent on the dinner queue, by the way.
And the rest of it, the time he spends is definitely playing favourites and bias.
Yeah, that's because he hates you. If you're listening now, Nigel Wood hates you and your rugby team, and he never wants you to win again.
The Honourable at Langers38, he certainly is that. He says, Leeds versus Hull on the Thursday after the Challenge Cup final, when one of them, well, we now know who that one is, will have been in the final. Wednesday wine, #pod story.
It's just a quirk of the fixture list, though, isn't it? Really?
It is a strange one, though. But neither clubs must have objected, because the clubs will have been part of the process of putting it together, you would have thought.
Yeah.
Obviously, if there's a cup final replay, that'll go out the window. That's an interesting one. Did you pay much attention to the fixture list? I know Bradford's weren't out yet because they were waiting to see if Swinton went bust or not.
Yeah, I haven't really yet. To be honest, no, because I just will look at them as they come up each week and think, oh, that's a good looking game. I've not really looked at it from the point of view of, oh, fucking hell, it's a Thursday night game for us here and this, that and the other. So it's just all a bit of faff and pomp and circumstance as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, I've looked at...
And we've got to play everyone.
The Super 8's fixtures, I don't think are that much right about, other than I would have thought they'd have tried to... I don't know, have Castleford playing against a big team on the game where they probably would have won the league leadership. And I think they're on TV though that week. I think
Leeds are on TV once. Leeds are on TV once or twice.
I think they're on every week. But in the fixtures that interested me more were the qualifiers fixtures. Because Hull KR have been given the sweet draw, haven't they? They've been given all the championship teams up first, basically.
Yeah.
So by the time they get to play a Super League side,
they could well be ahead of those. More likely have 6 points and therefore be guaranteed a 5th place.
I think,
or near enough.
Yeah, or maybe it's 3 out of the first 4 but still they've been given like a nice roll in there. That's been kind for them, I think.
Well,
so that's an interesting thing to watch, and I think it sets up things quite interestingly as long as they can beat those championship.
But the thing is, everyone's beatable. Look at York and Toronto this week. Everyone is beatable. So
Hull lost towards the back end of the year, didn't they? With the Toulouse game and the Halifax game.
Yeah.
So
they certainly didn't benefit from that defeat. Anyway, tin foil that time.
Okay, where we at? Darts.
Honourable darts. Yes, go.
Mitchell Darts said, my trivia results are, well, to say I did a Leeds and rested a good portion of my brain this week. Mark at Wilco2205 said, after so many NRL quizzes, we now get one with 2 current Giants players and a bonus round on pies. Everything's coming up Wilkinson.
It certainly is, right, isn't it?
Have you pulled out more?
I'm ready to go, mate. I didn't want to ruin the surprise, but we're good to go.
I think everyone's really keen on it, Tom.
We're good to go. We'll do the Wikipedia quiz every week as well. Then,
Dom Hodgson said at that. Well, we can just do yours for a bit if you want.
Have you prepped a quiz for this week?
I have got a few for you. Yeah.
Oh, we'll go back and forth then.
Great to hear Mum and Dad have made up. Can Tom do a quiz more often? First time I've got them all right ever.
Good lad.
Alfie Connor at Alfie Wood said, I agree, Tom. I like the quiz. He's come up with along with Mark's 1 time per week, perhaps Leeds tick.
Well, it depends what's in the box, really, in terms of categories.
Sarah at Scoop, is there a Catalans category?
There is not. I don't know if there's not a great deal of rugby league in the Wikipedia game, but we'll fish out some. I've got a couple lined up. Don't worry.
We're going to end, I think, with our hero Sarah at Scoots28 Max. So finally finished Super League pod. Another great show. Love Tom Crook's quiz. Feeling honoured to be counted as responsible by Mark Hill.
Yes, we certainly are. Okay, well, that's your feedback and shout-outs taken care of. Let's take a look now at news from around the world of rugby league. Okay, so to the news from Rugby League this week, and we'll start in the northern hemisphere and end in the southern hemisphere, Mark, because Wigan will face Hull FC in Australia in 2018 in the first Super League game to be played outside Europe. The two sides will face each other at Wynn Stadium in Wollongong on the 10th of February, which is a Saturday in 2018. 7 days later, Wigan will face South Sydney Rabbitohs, and Hull will take on the St George Illawarra Dragons in Sydney. They will return to the UK to take part in the World Club Challenge or Series starting on the 24th of Feb if either side qualifies. Fascinating stuff, isn't it? What do you think of this?
I'm a big fan of it.
I like it. I think it's a great idea.
I mean, there's people who don't like it or have picked holes in it and that sort of stuff. That always happens with everything in rugby league. You can't please everyone or sometimes anyone, but this one, I think it's a good idea. I jotted down some notes around it to sort of cover off, to make sure I didn't forget some of the things I wanted to say. I won't be able to go because my cousin's getting married on the Thursday or the Friday in between the two games. So me and my Uncle Liam had a chat about it on Saturday night and realised we can't quite fly back and then back.
Yeah. No, perhaps not.
So we're going to have to not go, which is a shame because I managed to get the sign off from Emma until we realised Jess's wedding was when it was. But yeah, so I've had a look into things, and there's been 54 games in the last decade in Wollongong, which isn't a lot of games. You've got to think that they want more games there. That includes like a couple of internationals and I think a city country game and that sort of stuff. The average crowd over that period has been just a tick over 13,000. Now that's actually roughly pretty similar to the DW crowd over the last 10 years for Wigan versus Hull games. I think it was a Wigan crowd, average crowd was about 13,200 or something like that. Yeah. So when you think about it that way, if we can draw the average crowd, whether that be from the hoped for that 5,000 or so that are going over, or the local community that might get behind it, then if they draw about 13,000, I think that's pretty good going. I would say. I think it should be counted as a success if it gets more than 13,000 on. Wollongong has a population of 280,000, Tom. That makes it a similar sort of size to Hull, actually a little bit bigger than Hull. I think the only Super League place with a bigger population is Leeds and the Wakefield, if you include the whole borough with Wakefield and the 5 towns as well. Right. Has more than what Wollongong has as a place. And Wollongong being just an hour and a half from Sydney by car sort of thing. You're talking about a very place that's got a lot of love for rugby league, and obviously it has its. I guess the Illawarra Steelers play there most of their games as well, don't they? Still, but you you still got all those people who don't get to watch top grade rugby league, and the Aussies might say Super League isn't top grade, but it's better than Intra Super Cup.
Well, I think this is a good opportunity to go and showcase our product, actually. I think while people